Guys, so this has been a long time coming, but I finally got around to sit down to talk about my ginger jeans. Um, and these are kind of like my pride and joy, I guess. I don't know. They were just kind of like something I was really, I wouldn't say nervous, but I was excited and maybe like slightly nervous about making because I wasn't sure exactly how they would turn out. But I finished these jeans just in time for the new year. So I've had them for a little bit over a month and I have worn them quite a lot in that span of time. So if you don't know, the Closet Case Patterns is an indie sewing pattern company, and they make this pattern called the ginger jeans. And they're kind of like a staple with the online sewing community. So many people have made these jeans, and I can see why, because they're such a classic fit and cut. They're made with stretch denim, and there's options for a high rise or high waisted pant, and then like a more mid rise, and then there's also an option to have the skinny leg or the stovepipe leg. And I'm really excited. I was really excited about making these because this is my first pair of pants that I've ever made, and also my first pair of jeans. So I got to kind of experience that whole world of pants sewing, because there's a lot of things you have to think about with fit and everything. So in terms of the fabric that I used the Cone Mills denim. This is the stretch denim, and it's like, I think it's the darkest wash that they had, with the exception of black, of course. And I actually got it from Fancy Tiger Crafts, which is a yarn and fabric shop in Denver, Colorado. Now, I don't live anywhere near Denver, but you can order stuff online from their website and they ship it to you. And then I also used the Guntermann jean thread. I used I guess it's like a gold bronzy color of the thread. And I also used the copper hardware, which is, I guess the actual hardware kits are created by Heather Liu, who owns Closet Case Patterns, and she distributes them. And thankfully, Fancy Tiger had all these things in wholesale, so I didn't have to order this stuff from different places. So if you're trying to sew a pair of jeans, they're a good place to go. Now, the only thing that I would say is I kind of do wish that I had chosen a different color thread with the copper hardware, because they are both like, I don't know, this is more of like a gold color, and then of course the hardware is copper, so they don't exactly match. I would have preferred if I had thought ahead and actually gotten some top stitching thread that matched, but it's not a huge deal, and I think it looks good anyway. That's just like a nitpicky thing that I wish I would have done differently. Oh, and I opted for the high-waisted view with the skinny leg just because that's kind of what I wanted. I like higher rise things, and then I also am just used to wearing skinny jeans all the time, and my old pair were starting to wear out. They were getting quite thin, like I could tell like the fabric was just starting to wear through quite a bit, so I really needed a new pair of jeans. So a little bit about the process of making a new pair of jeans, or a pair of jeans for yourself. So I wouldn't say that each step is particularly difficult. Like, it's not hard to do, you can figure it out, but it is very time consuming and it does require a good amount of patience. So if you're like, you don't have that many like really good skills, you could probably pull it off if you have enough patience and you're willing to take a good amount of time. And the main reason why it takes a lot of patience is probably the top stitching, because I don't know, for me it requires a lot of, or I really want it to look perfect because I'm kind of a perfectionist, and I actually ripped out the fly so many times and it's still not absolutely perfect, but it's fine because it's my first pair of jeans and nobody's gonna be staring at that, hopefully. So it should be fine. Also, another thing that you have to be very cautious of is the fit. Since these jeans are more fitted, that's something that you don't really have as much leeway for, kind of like, I don't know, you kind of want it to be skin tight, so that means that it requires a little bit more back and forth, like trying it on and saying like, oh, do I need to take in a little bit more? Do I need to take out some? I don't know. That takes a good amount of time, so you have to be cognizant of that whenever you're actually planning on sewing a pair of jeans. So those are the two main things that require a lot of effort, and especially with the fit, you want to make sure the fit is absolutely perfect before you try to stitch on the waistband. Admittedly, I guess I didn't really realize what I wanted my fit to be like, and it was a bit looser than I wanted in the end. So like after I'd worn them for a couple of days, I decided these are too loose for me, and then I actually had to take off the waistband. And you're not supposed to do this, but I just like took off a certain amount and then pulled it all in. I mean, it worked for me. Obviously it's not perfect, but they fit now a lot better than they did whenever I first made them, because they were just like, just loose enough that they were like baggy in the wrong, it was like, I don't know, it would bunch up kind of weird. I don't know how to explain that, but yeah, you want to make sure the fit is like as good as you can get before you go to attach your waistband. So that's one tip I would recommend. Oh, and then something kind of fun that you get to do with these is this top stitching on the butt pocket. And you can look at, they have different, there's like different websites online where you can see different top stitching that different brands do on their jeans. You can copy somebody. I just made this up, and what I ended up doing was I traced the outline of one pocket onto a piece of paper, and then I drew out, I had a couple of iterations of this because at first it didn't look exactly the way I wanted, and so I was able to sort of tweak it so it looked a lot better, and I'm really happy that I did that. So if you plan on making up your own design, definitely use the paper template method that I tried. So one of the mistakes that I made that I did not know, that I didn't even think about is, okay, so when you sew the front fly, you automatically have this top stitching down the crotch in a certain way, but I didn't realize that. So it doesn't match up with the top stitching on the other side. So when you're sewing yours, you should probably be thoughtful of that. I noticed it whenever I was stitching the legs together, and I just could not be bothered to fix it. But I think it turned out good anyway. So in conclusion, making jeans is a great learning experience. I feel like there's so much that I was able to conquer with sewing a pair of jeans, and now after wearing them for a while, I feel like I know what things that I would do differently, and I don't know, it was a good experience. Another thing you have to keep in mind is you kind of have to use a little bit of discretion whenever you're trying to decide if something warrants you actually unpicking it and redoing it, as in like the fit, which seems like something that's more important, and then like contrasting to like the top stitching on the fly. Like I feel like you could probably get away with the top stitching on the fly, especially if you don't have thread that has such a contrast as I did. So you really need to think about that, like, is this really worth putting the time in to actually undo it? Like obviously this mistake, the seam down the back and up the front, I don't think anybody's gonna really notice that, so it definitely was not worth it for me to totally undo that seam and then redo it. Another thing that I want to say is that Cone Mills denim is pretty awesome. It feels so thick and sturdy and I love it, but it's also stretchy enough. And it's, I don't know if you can see, but it's like already kind of fading a little bit. I noticed in the leg there's like some fading already, which is awesome in my book. I've only washed my jeans like twice because I don't wash my pants that often, but I did wash them this week and I noticed that more fading, or like more of the dye came out, which was kind of cool and exciting because it like makes them look a little bit more lived in. And then my last exciting thing is that I am already ready to start on a new pair of jeans, and I've got fabric in the mail, actually from Fancy Tiger Craft again, for the Morgan jeans from Closet Case Patterns, and I'm really excited to make those. Yeah, I'm gonna make them in a light wash denim, like a super light wash, and I was looking for the perfect pair or perfect fabric for it. It was hard to find the right color with no stretch because those jeans require fabric with no stretch. And it was kind of hard, but I finally found the perfect fabric and I saw they only had 5 yards in stock, and I was like, I need to buy that right now because if I don't buy it from them, I'm not going to be able to find it. And I didn't want to like order from fabric.com because although I love fabric.com, I prefer to support the smaller companies if I can. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. So hopefully you should see more about that. I'm super excited. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully you're inspired to also make a pair of jeans. Oh, one thing I also forgot to mention. So one thing I also forgot to mention. Heather Liu, the person who owns Closet Case Patterns, she started like this hashtag called No Fear New Jeans for this month of September. And all of her jean patterns and her online jean course, and I think anything that has to do with jeans on her shop is 30% off, because she's trying to tell people that you shouldn't be afraid and go ahead and make jeans. And I totally agree with her because it's not as scary as you would think. It's actually very rewarding, and yeah, if you make a mistake, usually you'll be able to fix it. Yeah, so I hope you guys have a good day, and I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thanks for watching. Bye!